the sixth-generation Honda Civic was introduced in 1995. It retained its class-leading handling as it, along with the fourth and fifth generations, had front double wishbone suspension, the advanced independent suspension inspired by Honda's racing research. However, the sixth iteration of Civic did not have the high power-to-weight ratio as its two predecessors had. Two wagons were also made on the platform. The JDM Orthia, based on the Civic Sedan, and a Domani-based model, sold as Civic Aerodeck, in Europe. Neither were offered in North America. A Domani-based five-door liftback was also offered for sale in Europe alongside the regular Civic model from 1995 to 2001. At its introduction in 1993, it won the Car of the Year Japan Award for the third time. Trims and equipment. Coupe. Trims available in the coupe body style were the EJ6, EJ7, EJ8 and M1. Hatchback. Trims available in the hatchback body style were the EJ6, EJ9, EK1, EK2, EK3, EK4, EK6, EK7 and the EK9. Sedan. Trims available in the sedan body style were the EJ6, EJ8, EJ9, EK1, EK2, EK3, EK4, EK5, EK8 and EN1. CX, the base trim, available as a hatchback only. Appointed very sparingly, it came equipped with 13-inch wheels, four-wheel double wishbone suspension, dual airbags, tinted windows, split folding rear seat, and seating for 5 people. In 1997, the CX added 14-inch wheels as standard equipment. In 2000, the CX added tilt steering as standard equipment. DX, available as a hatchback, coupe copyright, or sedan. It included all standard equipment from CX plus tilt steering and AM/FM radio. Power steering was standard on all sedans, and on the coupes when ordered with automatic transmission. For 1997, the DX added 14-inch wheels as standard equipment. LX, available as a four-door only. It included all standard equipment from DX plus 14-inch wheels, power windows, power locks, power mirrors, power steering, front stabilizer bar, front center armrest with storage compartment, cargo area light, cruise control, and tachometer. For 1997, the LX added air conditioning as standard equipment. X, available as a coupe copyright or sedan. It included all standard equipment from LX plus a higher horsepower SOHC-VTEC engine, power sunroof, air conditioning, remote entry system, plus body-colored side mirrors and side molding. ABS was standard on sedan only. For 1999, the X added a CD player as standard equipment. HX, available as coupe copyright only, this trim was specially tooled for higher fuel efficiency. It was the only model available with a CVT, though customers could also choose a 5-speed manual transmission. It included all standard equipment from DX, plus a slightly higher horsepower VTEC engine, alloy wheels, power windows, power locks, power steering, and tachometer. GX, introduced in 1997 and available as a sedan for fleet purchase only, this trim was specially designed to run on natural gas. See Honda Civic GX for detail and references. VP, introduced in 1998 and available as a sedan only, this trim was designed as AA Euro OE value package Euro above the DX. It included all standard equipment from DX plus automatic transmission, power locks, CD player, air conditioning, keyless entry, and special paint. Most models had a standard AM/FM radio in the center dashboard with a backlit LCD display, but a slave cassette player or CD player was available through dealer-installed options and was installed in the forward portion of the console and was hidden from view when the cup holder was open. X models had the slave cassette player standard. Dealers also offered AM/FM cassette and AM/FM CD decks to replace the stock radio. All vehicles were equipped with 4 speakers, radio wiring, and an antenna regardless of whether or not they had a radio. After a brief hiatus, The Civic Si reappeared in 1998, available as a coupe copyright only. With the adoption of the VT badge in Europe and the Si and Type badges in Japan for the sports variants of Civics, the Si became primarily a US-specific badge, a branding trend that would continue in subsequent Civic generations. Going from 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds, the 1999 Civic Si trim featured a 1.6-litre B16A2 engine that made 160 HP at 8,000 rpm and 111 ft-lbs of torque at 7,000 rpm. While similar to the power plant in the Del Sol VTEC, the Civic Si saw some notable differences, which include a larger throttle body, improved intake manifold, strengthened connecting rods, low-friction high-silicon pistons, a fully counterweighted crankshaft, and an exhaust system with larger piping diameter. Due to its good fuel economy, independent suspension at all four corners, and a more popular coupe form, the trim garnered a dedicated following in spite of its short production cycle. Changes from the standard Civic included stiffer, progressive rate springs, stiffer front and rear anti-roll bars, and a tower brace, which contributed to a flatter cornering ride. It was available with a 5-speed manual transmission only, standard equipment also including disc brakes all around. Aesthetic exterior changes from the LXX models were minimal, with the Si trim featuring a lower profile and wider 15-inch wheel tire package, a subtle chin spoiler, painted side sills, and Si badging. There are power locks, power windows, a CD player, cruise control, air conditioning, power sunroof, and tilt steering. For the interior, the 6th generation Si also had tilt adjustment for the bottom cushion, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, remote keyless entry, and red-faced instrumentation with Si branding. Paint colors. Colors available in the US were as follows: 1996 Cyclone Blue Metallic, Cypress Green Pearl, Midori Green Pearl, Granada Black Pearl, Frost White, New Vogue Silver Metallic, Milano Red, Island Coral Pearl and Roma Red. 1997 Cyclone Blue Metallic, Cypress Green Pearl, Granada Black Pearl, Frost White, New Vogue Silver Metallic, Dark Amethyst Pearl, Milano Red, Island Coral Pearl, Inza Red Pearl and Roma Red. 1998 Cyclone Blue Metallic, Cypress Green Pearl, Taffeta White, New Vogue Silver Metallic, Flamenco Black Pearl, Dark Amethyst Pearl, Milano Red and Roma Red. 1999 Electron Blue Pearl, Ice Teal Pearl, Clover Green Pearl, Taffeta White, New Vogue Silver Metallic, Flamenco Black Pearl, Dark Amethyst Pearl, Milano Red and Roma Red. 2000 Electron Blue Pearl, Ice Teal Pearl, Clover Green Pearl, Taffeta White, New Vogue Silver Metallic, Flamenco Black Pearl, Milano Red, Roma Red, Vintage Plum Pearl and Titanium Metallic. Facelift. In 1998 for the 1999 model year, the Civic had some updates for both the interior and exterior. These redesigns could vary according to the country of origin for the car. For example, in some European countries there was no redesign to the climate control area or to the rear of the sedan models. The updated cars received a facelift which included a new grille, new headlights, and a new front bumper, fenders and hood and redesigned taillights. The coupe and sedans models also received a slight redesign to the bottom of the rear bumper. On the pre-facelift sedans, the stoplights were on top of the reverse and turn lights. For the facelift version, the reverse and turn lights were on top of the stoplights. For the coupe and hatchback the layouts remained as before. However, the rear turn signal lenses became clear white instead of amber to match the reverse lights. Inside, the center console had a makeover. The sliding air system controls were replaced by rotary ones, which freed up space to accommodate an enlarged radio, which included the cassette player or compact disc player. Previously, the large size of the ventilation controls reduced the size of the radio, necessitating a slave cassette player or compact disc player at the bottom of the console. Engines. In Japan, the cheapest model was the EL, powered by a 1343cc D13B engine with 91 PS at 6,300 rpm. As for most of the 6th generation Civics, It has a single overhead camshaft and 4 valves per cylinder. All US model CX, DX, value package, and LX models used the D16Y7i4. It produced 106 HP at 6,200 rpm, 103 lb-ft of torque at 4,600 rpm, with a compression ratio of 9.6 to 1. Fuel injection was multi-point, with SOHC and 4 valves per cylinder. The US model HX had the D16Y5. It produced 115 HP at 6,300 rpm, 104 lb-ft of torque at 5,400 rpm, with a compression ratio of 9.4 to 1. Fuel injection was multi-point, with SOHC, 4 valves per cylinder, and VTECE. The US Model X and Canadian Si had the D16Y8. It produced 127 HP at 6,600 rpms, 107 lb-ft of torque at 5,500 rpms, with a compression ratio of 9.6 to 1. Fuel injection was multi-point, with SOHC, 4 valves per cylinder, and VTEC. The US Model C and Canadian Si used the B16A2. It produced 160 HP at 7,600 rpms, 111 lb-ft of torque at 7,000 rpms, with a compression ratio of 10.2 to 1. Fuel injection was multi-point, with DOHC, 4 valves per cylinder, and VTEC. In the UK, Europe, South Africa and the Philippines, there were a number of sedans and Aerodecks between 1996 and 2000 produced with the B16A1, B16A2, B18B and even B18C motors. The GX sedan was a trim available only in the United States. These cars were produced in fairly limited numbers and were sold to government agencies. The D16B5 which powered the GX was a compressed natural gas engine. In Japan, the Civic Si used the second-generation B16A engine while the other models used D15B, D16A or D13B engines. In the Middle East market, the Civic came with a 105 HP D15Z4 engine for LXI and XI models. In Australia, most models came with the D16Y4 engine. The VTI sedan model had the D16Y5, the VTI Coupe the D16Y8 and the VTI Hatchback and Coupe had the B16A engine. Transmissions: most models were available with a standard 5-speed manual transmission with a hydraulic clutch, or an optional 4-speed automatic transmission. Various gear sets and final drives were used between models, resulting here of 4 different manual transmission combinations: CX-DX Hatchback, HX Coupe, tall gearing with a 3.722 final drive, DX-LX Coupe Sedan, same transmission gearing as CX-DX Hatchback and HX Coupe but with a 4.058 final drive, X Hatchback Sedan, shorter gearing than all the variants save for the Si with a 4.25 final drive, Si Coupe, shortest gearing of all the 6th generation Honda Civics, 4.266 final drive, available in manual transmission only. The HX model was offered with the 5-speed manual or a CVT continuously variable transmission which offered 3 driving ranges, D, S, and L. The conventional 4-speed automatic was not available on the HX model. A JDM variant called the Civic RTI was also produced and it featured either manual and automatic transmissions coupled to a Honda real-time all-wheel drive layout. For the DX-EX Civics equipped with automatic transmissions, the only difference between the DX-LX versus the X is that the X has slightly shorter gearing in first-third gear but otherwise shares same 0.638 fourth gear ratio and 4.357 final drive ratio. Weights: all weights listed in this table are in lbs, worldwide. The JDM Civic Sedan featured a 170 PS DOHC VTEC B16A engine, rear headrests, an Integra-Type-A-style shift knob, unique seating fabric and the same 15 inches alloy wheels that also appeared on the 1999 to 2000 US market Civic Si Coupe copyright. Other JDM Ferio models included a model with the real-time four-wheel drive and a rear wiper in the back window of the sedan, which was not seen in other markets. Canadian models were mostly similar to US models, though with different designations. Canadian Civic sedans came in LX and X, which roughly correspond to the American DX and LX. There was no Honda-branded Canadian equivalent to the American X sedan. The Canadian market-only Acura EL filled this spot. Canadian Civic coupes came in DX, Si, and Si, the equivalent of the DX, X, and Si in the United States. Only the X sedan, Si coupe and Si coupe had power locks and power windows. The Si and Si coupes were the only Canadian Civic models with a power moonroof. All sedans and coupes had a group option package available that added air conditioning and anti-lock brakes. The hatchbacks, available only in CX and DX trims, were sold as economy cars. As in the US, they had none of the amenities of other models in the Civic lineup, not even as options. All sedans, coupes, and the hatchback DX had two front airbags, while the CX hatchback had the driver's side airbag only. Canadian Si and Si models included ABS brakes and heated mirrors which were not included on US Si models. The Canadian Si also was available in new Vogue Silver Metallic, which was not available for the USA's comparable Si model. The Civic DX Special Edition hatchback was a special trim released for the year 2000 only. The car was similar to the Canadian DX hatchback, but came with additional standard parts including mesh 14-inch wheels, body-colored side mirrors and side moldings, a midwing and a special badge on the rear of the hatch. Australia. The Civic was introduced in 1996 initially with two 1.6-litre engines. The non-VTEC motor was known as the GLE, while the VTEC was standard across the range, with an optional 4-speed automatic in the GLE or CVT in the VT. The high-output B16A2 engine was introduced later and available in the coupe and hatch, known as the VTR. Asian CRII. From 1996 to 2000, Honda produced Civic CRI which came with a B16A engine, but it was only available in Asian market. This engine produced at 7,800 RPMs with a displacement of 1595 cc's, Philippines. The sixth-generation Civic was initially launched in 1996 with two trims, the LXi with a non-VTEC 1.5 LSOHC D15Z4 engine, and the VT with a 1.6 LSOHC D16Y5 VTEC engine. Both came with regular front disc brakes and rear drum brakes. Transmission choices were a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, available in both trims. During the 1999 facelift, and Si version was introduced. It had a B16A2 1.6L DOHC VTEC engine and was initially available in Nighthawk Black, Taffeta White and Passion Orange variants. Milano Red and Sunburst Yellow color variants followed afterwards with silver accents on the center console. Other notable differences were a mesh grille, 3-spoke red-stitched steering wheel, 15-inch K rims, leather-stitched shift knob, front upper strut bar, Kenwood CD player, bigger front and rear disc brakes, unique interior fabric colors and an optional front chin and spoiler. The only transmission choice was a 5-speed manual. The Si is very common with car and race enthusiasts as it offered the highest power output of any locally released 1.6L car to date, which is why it is still very marketable as a used car. Japanese Type R. There was also a Japanese domestic market-only Civic Type R, that was only available as a hatchback and 5-speed manual with LSD. This model was equipped with a powerful B16B at 8,200 RPM, which is essentially a destroked version of the Integra Type R B18C engine. The chassis was given the designation EK9. The EK9 was very special as it was essentially based on the JDM EK4 sub but taken out of the production line and given additional reinforcement to the chassis and body shell. Weight was also meticulously removed to create a lightweight race car feel. Other additions over the EK4 were bigger brakes, quicker steering ratio, specially tuned suspension, Recaro seats, Momo steering wheel, titanium shift knob, front lip spoiler, rear wing, smoked headlights and a hand-built engine that embodied the racing spirit of Honda. This engine featured a hand-ported cylinder head, lighter flywheel, redesigned cam profiles, high-compression pistons and balanced crankshaft. The gearbox was fitted with a helical-type limited-slip differential. South Africa 180i Civic. In South Africa, the 5th and 6th generation Civics were available with the Acura Integra B18B3 and B18B4 engine, respectively. Europe, MAN-BMC 5-door Civic/Civic Aerodeck. Based on the Domani, this version was marketed in Europe as the MAMC Civic and Civic Aerodeck. It was built in 5-door and Aerodeck models in various trim levels and engine sizes. The Aerodeck name was previously used on the Honda Accord Aerodeck, which was a 2-door station wagon, popularly known in Europe as a shooting brake. 1.4L, 1.5L, 1.6L and 1.8-liter petrol engines were available. These came with 5-door body and 55-liter fuel tank, ABS, driver and passenger airbags, power steering and electric door mirrors, amongst other things. The later models came with air conditioning as standard. The 1.8T model was the flagship model with the biggest petrol engine to be given to MAN-BMC Civics. The Domani-based Civics were also available with the Rover L Series diesel engine, which was a 2-liter, 8-valve, direct injection turbocharged unit. An essential addition in the European market. Later diesel engines came with intercoolers. The chassis codes designated to this model and generation of Civics were chassis codes MA8, MA9, MB1, MB2, MB3, MB4, MB6, MB7, and MB8 for the liftback, while the Aerodeck chassis codes are MB9, MC1, MC2, MC3, and MC9. Compared to the original Domani, the liftback and Aerodeck featured a new interior, similar to that of the more upmarket Rover 400. Honda had a long-serving partnership with the Rover Group, who at the time didn't have enough funds for the tooling to produce an all-new car, which allowed Rover to produce its own C-segment competitor based around the design of the Domani shell and using a lot of its underpinnings to produce the Rover 400/45 and later MGZS. Rover made mostly cosmetic changes to have a brand new design in the showrooms, which was very cost-effective but divided opinion amongst brand enthusiasts. 1.8/1.6T. As with all Honda models of the age, VT denoted the inclusion of Honda's VTEC technology. There was a rear VT badge, and decals of DOHC VTEC on the rear doors, as well as front-rear bumper lips and side skirts. 1996 saw the introduction of the VT model and then a limited edition VTIS. The VTI came in 2 different flavors, the DOHC 1.6 VT hatch and sedan and the DOHC 1.8 VT 5-door. The 1.6 VT car was actually slightly faster in acceleration than the 1.8 due to the different gear ratios. The 1.6 was also a lighter engine in a lighter car, helping to reduce the 0-60 mph acceleration time by about 0.3 seconds. Front-rear disc brakes were standard on all VTS versions. The 5-door versions included a Torsen limited slip differential, which meant they were quicker out of corners than the 1.6 due to being able to accelerate out of corners more effectively. The 1.8 VT Civic came with a host of standard equipment, some of which was not available on the 3-door equivalents. Standard 1.8 spec includes exterior front lip spoiler, rear boot spoiler with integral brake light, headlight washers, electric sunroof, color-coded mirrors, color-coded door handles, color-coded front-rear bumpers, front fog lights, lightweight Speedline 5-spoke alloy wheels. Interior, unique half-leather sports-style seats, front-rear electric windows, electrically operated heated door mirrors, air conditioning, dashboard instrument light dimmer, front and rear headrests. Leather steering wheel with red stitching. United Kingdom limited editions, VTS, the MB6 VTS 5-door was made in a limited run of 500 of each body type, and only sold in the Honda color Pirates Black, with body-colored bumpers. The VTIS improved on the appearance of the standard Civic VT5 door with a more pronounced front lip and also a rear lip on the bumpers, and different side skirts. The VTS specification also included chrome aluminium gear knob, silver black plastic on later VTS models, VTIS floor mats and tailgate badging. It also came fitted with lightweight 15 inches Speedline chrono alloy wheels, with a split-spoke design. The later VTS models came fitted with the lightweight Speedline fan alloy wheels. Other than this, it is identical to the regular VT. The instrument dials on later VTS models changed slightly, now with italic numbering. The 3-door EK4 VTS was produced in 1998 only and 200 were produced in this time, all on the registration plates. Like the MB6 VTS, the EK4 VTS was based on the standard VT hatch, with differences being the starlight black paint, front and rear bumper lip skirts, rear mid-spoiler, 15 inches Speedline chrono alloy wheels, the dashboard cluster used white numbering on the speedometer, fuel gauge etc., rather than orange-red as in the regular VT, however it still retained the red needles. The boot badges spelling out Honda Civic 1.6 VT and VTEC were all replaced with a single VTS badge, and there was an alloy gear knob and VTS floor mats. Mechanically and in performance terms it is identical to a regular EK4 VT. Due to a problem with the registration process, many genuine VTS were not on the logbooks as a VTS, but a VT, and regular VT Civics were logged as VTS. This problem also affected the special edition EK4 Civic Jordan, of which some were also logged as a VTS. Civic Jordan, to commemorate the Honda Jordan F1 team. A 500-car special limited edition Honda Civic VT was created with their own signed Eddie Jordan plaque with a specific number stamped on it in the center console. This car was sold in 1999 Euro 2000. It had the same basic spec as the EK4 VT, but the extras included, sunlight yellow paintwork, yellow and black leather interior, Jordan decals on the sides and rear of the car as well as stitched into the seats and floor carpets. Rover 200, 400, 25, 45 and MG ZS, Rover developed these vehicles from the Honda Domani using their own engines. UK produced with styling and interior specifications were aimed primarily at the UK market. References